Adventure Time Distant Lands isn't the only exciting cartoon coming to HBO Max. On July 9th, Close Enough will be coming out, a new series by the creator of Regular Show. Surprisingly, the other day, HBO put out the first 2 episodes for free, for about like 2 hours and then took them down because it was probably a mistake or something. But within that time, I was able to watch them. Also, I'm pretty sure these 2 episodes were shown during an animation festival or something, so a good handful of people have seen it at this point. Sort of like I did with Adventure Time, I'm not really going to have a script here, I'm just going to go off about the episodes for a bit. There won't be too much editing here either. And if you missed it the other day, please check out my Patreon update video. It feels sort of blasphemous to say because I'm such a huge Adventure Time fan, and BMO like totally exceeded my expectations, was amazing, but for a while now, I've been more excited for Close Enough than Adventure Time. I was very excited to see what a new show by one of these great creators could be like. And after watching Close Enough, it's the same, it's Regular Show. It's just, it's almost 1-to-1 Regular Show. And I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more, really. Seems like the main thing a lot of people are even pointing out about this show is all of the abundance of Regular Show Easter eggs. But like looking at this show by itself as its own thing, it's a lot of fun, even just from these 2 episodes. The first episode was about Josh and Emily trying to buy art supplies for their daughter Candace for a school project. They left Candace behind at home to be watched over by their roommates Alex and Bridget. Then while shopping, Josh and Emily get distracted and buy a bunch of stuff they weren't supposed to buy, but eventually they stumble upon this group of creepy homeless British kids. They have the kids make a school project for Candace, and then they kind of go crazy because they think Josh and Emily were going to permanently be their parents. So they like turn into demons and chase down Josh and Emily, and they explode and stuff. It's great. This episode sort of ends with the implication that their roommates went on this huge other adventure with Candace, so I was expecting episode 2 to like show the other side of the story because it really seems like it sets itself up to be like that, but no, episode 2 is a totally separate thing and just focuses on Josh and Emily again. In episode 2, Josh and Emily are going around to open houses just for fun, not actually to buy any house, just to dream about what they could have, which I'm sure is a very relatable thing. And Emily specifically is getting kind of annoyed with the craziness of their actual home. So she ends up meeting this guy at one of the open houses and they pretend to be a couple just to sort of relax for a little bit. But then they end up getting stuck inside of a sitcom in a very bizarre, surreal way. And then meanwhile, Josh has a subplot about how he really wants to bring his family together because he wants to buy a family bike, and he was made fun of as a kid because he never got to ride one or something. It's very funny. I think episode 2 definitely stands out more. It feels much stronger, like a complete actual character piece sort of episode. I think while episode 1 is very funny, it's very all over the place. It's like there's non-stop attempts at jokes in that episode. And some of them are great, some of them are like okay, but it doesn't really introduce you to the characters that much or anything like that. It introduces you to the show's scenario pretty well, but the second episode definitely is much more character focused and is what I'd expect more of the series to be like. I think really just my sort of main problem here is how these 2 episodes mainly focus on Josh and Emily's characters, and they're a lot of fun, but there's a good handful of main characters in this series, so I wish they either got more screen time in these episodes or like episode 1 was about Josh and Emily and then episode 2 was about Alex and Bridget. So I feel like early Regular Show did the same sort of thing. Like the episodes really focused on Mordecai and Rigby and creating their relationship, and all the other characters were just sort of there. I particularly remember High Five Ghost like had almost no significance or lines of dialogue or anything in the early episodes of Regular Show. I was always just like, who's this ghost guy? Why is he here? And then like much later on, they actually started giving him some character and stuff. But for a while there, he was just there to be another park employee. And Close Enough definitely doesn't do it like to that extent, but it definitely seems like some of the characters here are really sidelined. Again, these are just the first 2 episodes, but I think they could have done a bit of a better job introducing the whole cast. But that's really my only main problem. Everything else is just, it's so funny and it's weirdly surreal in all the same ways that Regular Show is. Regular Show is about working a boring full-time job, and Close Enough is about trying to raise a family in the crazy modern world. There's some very funny stuff in these episodes, and I think specifically Josh's character is hilarious. He's like kind of a total idiot, but in a way that's very funny. Plus he's just voiced by Quintel again, and I mean that guy has one voice, but he does great. Emily's voice actress is pretty good too. And there's a good amount of singing from her, so I guess maybe that's going to be a regular thing. This show will have a bit more music involved than Regular Show. Or I guess, more original music involved, because Regular Show used so much 80s music. Regular Show used so much 80s music to the point where, like, they wrote episodes around the fact that they wanted to use a certain song. But this show seems to be focusing on maybe having some original songs quite often, and that's pretty interesting. Jessica DeChico voices Candace, the Josh and Emily's daughter. I just feel that's significant to mention because she's like the only person from this industry that I've ever met and I have her autograph. And she voices Flame Princess. She does a lot of voicing. And then, there's not really much I could say about the other voice actors because the other characters aren't really featured that much again. Also, the theme song for this show is like amazing. Apparently it's animated by James Baxter, and it's very, very short, but it's pretty sweet. And also apparently Mark Mothersbaugh does the music for this, or does some music for it, and he's like an amazing composer. He does like the Lego movie and stuff like that, so that's interesting. I mean, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page right now, so I don't know how accurate that is, but whatever. So I've said it a lot, but this basically is just regular show. But for adults. And it's for adults like in a good way. There's maybe only like 1 or 2 jokes in here that I felt like they kind of just said that because they have to be mature. But all the mature aspects of it feel very, very natural. There's very little of that like, oh, they had to swear here because they felt like they had to because it's an adult show, or oh, they had to like do drugs in this scene because it's an adult cartoon. So far, there was like super, super minimal of that, which makes me happy. It's really just like if the scripts from regular show didn't have to be censored. Because I'm sure in regular show's writer's room, they just wrote swears and everything the way this show is written. I almost want it to get like a little more mature. Like Rick and Morty, for example, like that show gets like so weird. So far, Close Enough has, well, it's been like deliberately grounded. I would like to see some episodes get like gory, get like super insane. These first 2 episodes, again, just feel like something that could have happened in a regular show. They should take more advantage of the fact that it's an adult show, and maybe they will in the future, but just from these episodes, the only difference it being mature makes is just there's more raunchier humor. But anyways, despite like a couple of problems, this is a really great start for this series. I don't know if it's been confirmed exactly how many episodes there are, but I'm sure they're going to all be put out on the same day, which is a little annoying. I would like this to be prolonged and be able to watch it on a weekly basis just like any other show. But I appreciate that the episodes are 11 minutes each, so that probably means that there'll certainly be more of them than sort of usual. Like there's probably, hopefully, over 20. I much prefer watching 11-minute shows too. It feels more bite-sized, and they're always able to tell as much story as a 30-minute cartoon, really. And like anything on a streaming service, if this gets enough views and ratings and stuff, then they'll certainly make more episodes in the future. Maybe they already are. I feel like with how much they've been advertising this, even pretty early before it was being released, I think they're really confident that this will attract a lot of people. And I mean, for sure, I think it will. Once enough people are able to see it and they can tell their friends like, hey, there's like a new regular show on HBO, bro. You got to watch it. It's hilarious. Like, I think this will really blow up. Probably even more so than Adventure Time, just because it's a totally new thing. It's not a continuation of anything. So I really hope it has a bright future ahead of it. I'm excited to see the full episodes, and I hope if you're interested in checking out the series, you check it out on HBO, because that's the only way for them to know that people like it. Anyways, if you were able to check out those first 2 episodes while they were out for like an hour, let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching, and super special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to know when I post a new video. Be sure to stay tuned for more new videos and live streams. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok to get frequent updates and video clips. And consider supporting me on Patreon for just $2 a month to get some behind-the-scenes content, like scripts and review notes, and even early videos. Once we get about 20 Patreon supporters, I'll start a Discord server for us to chat.